For the last couple of years, I've had to make a really important decision right about this time of year, and that is what camera was going to be the primary camera for my YouTube channel. Now, the last 2 years, that was the DJI Action 3 and Action 4, and the first year it was the GoPro Hero 11. Well, this year it's stacking up to be a really tough decision because DJI has a brand new model, the Action 5 Pro. Also in the studio, I have the new GoPro Hero 13 Black. Now, I should tell you that the video that you're getting right now is coming from the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And obviously, I'm not going to be using an iPhone as the primary camera for my YouTube channel because it's about action cameras. But we should have some great comparison footage for everybody. So over the next 2 months, we're going to have a series of 4 videos. A review of the DJI Action 5 Pro, a review of the GoPro Hero 13, also a head-to-head camera shootout between the two of them, and then I'll throw in the iPhone 16 Pro Max for a overall camera comparison. And in the last video, we'll decide what camera is going to be the go-to device for He Has the Camera on YouTube for 2025. When you review action cameras, you're going to have a lot of them, and I do. For DJI, I've got the Action 2, Action 3, Action 4, and right now, you're getting video from the brand new DJI Action 5 Pro. Now, right out of the gate, one of the things we're going to answer today is whether or not the Action 5 Pro is worth an upgrade if you have the Action 4. The other thing I want to find out is whether the new features are standout enough to justify that Pro name. Now with DJI, one of the problems I've actually had is that the products have been so good that I had a hard time deciding whether to upgrade. I love the Action 3, it was the primary camera for my YouTube channel for a year, and I now use the Action 4. Now, as usual, one of the places that I come to do my reviews is Laguna Beach, California. It's not only one of my favorite places to hang out, but a great place to get shots and also test audio. Actually, audio is going to be something that's going to be very interesting later in this episode. Later, I'm going to show you something very special when it comes to audio on this camera. So obviously, we've got a lot of questions to answer, and the biggest one is whether or not the new DJI Action 5 Pro is going to be the new go-to camera at He Has the Camera on YouTube. So stick around.
Something different can mean a lot of things, and so can the word pro. I mean, for some, pro just means more expensive, but for others, like DJI, it means revolutionary image quality, or at least that's the claim. If you take the new DJI Action 5 Pro and put it on paper, it seems we've got a lot to be excited about. You've got a new 1/1.3-inch sensor, which is comparable to the super dynamic range of professional cameras, as well as a new chipset with low power consumption and 4-hour battery life. It comes packed with dual OLED touchscreens and a first for this action camera lineup, the ability to connect a wireless mic for professional audio recording, and we'll have more on that later. The good news is that a lot of the standard features I love about the Action series are still here, like the magnetic quick-release mounts, great stabilization with horizon balancing, a 155-degree field of view, and it can operate between -4 degrees and 113 degrees. That's -20 and 45 degrees Celsius for those of you who live in the wrong place. And it all means that you can pretty much use it anywhere. All right, let's jump right into image quality and focus first on dynamic range. We all know action cameras excel in bright sunlight, but the Action 5 Pro does a fantastic job of providing a balanced experience in even challenging lighting environments. If you look at the video here, you can see that it has no problem providing excellent shadow detail while never overexposing to compensate. And again, this whole episode, like all of mine, are shot on out-of-the-box settings and everything on automatic.
Okay, now we're down by the ocean. I'm going to go all the way down and get right next to the water and see how this camera does as far as ambient noise is concerned. I will also say that we switched over to wide here. I've come off of standard V-warp, and we'll see how it looks and how the stabilization is in just a minute. Okay, right now we're down by the ocean as close as we can get without getting wet, and you're going to get the audio here from the back of the camera and get an idea how in a really loud environment this camera isolates noise. Okay, now audio from the front of the camera with the ocean behind us. I'm not yelling, I'm talking in basically a normal voice that I would. I'm about as close as you can get without getting wet, and hopefully it sounds good.
Now, we're going to come back to image quality in just a moment, but if you're one of those people who loves slow motion, like me, the Action 5 won't disappoint. You can use your $1,500 phone if you choose, but I prefer to keep mine dry, and the Action 5 Pro gives you that buttery smooth, well, action at 120 frames per second, and it looks great. This video that you're watching now is slowed down to 20%. The fact that it's waterproof to 20 meters helps, and the lens coating clears water immediately, providing a perfect view soon after being submerged.
Okay, a little bit of backlight here, and let me spin around and talk about this. This is the Wireless Mic 2 by DJI. It is the companion to the Action 5 Pro, and it's real small, real nice, and we're gonna put this on and see if it makes any difference. So right now, you're getting audio directly from the onboard mics. I will say that one of the reasons that I have always chose DJI is I love the sound quality of their cameras right out of the box, right with the onboard mics. But we'll throw this on and see if it makes any difference. All right, it's telling me that it's connected. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Yep, it is registering. And there is an indicator on here so we can see what it sounds like. So I'm going to put it on my lapel and we'll see how it goes. There's a little windsock that goes with this also. I would say this is a good example of what it's going to sound like with the transmitter and the windsock on a relatively windy day. Now, where this is really going to shine is when we get further away from the camera, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll test the range as well. All right, so now I want to get further away from the camera and test the range and how it sounds in its real true environment, which is at a place where the audio would not be picked up on the onboard mics. I just got to figure out where I'm going to put this. I should have brought my tripod, but I didn't. I guess this is the one reason I shouldn't have gotten divorced, because I don't have anyone to hold the camera. Okay, so this will work, and we're gonna go back here a little ways and see what it sounds like. I don't actually know what the range is, but I can tell you that right here, if you're still getting audio from me, then I am impressed as hell. And again, I am talking in just a regular, normal voice. So that's a test of one of the standout features of this camera, and obviously one of the reasons that I would choose to buy it. The wireless mic, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I'm a vlogger. This is incredibly important, but there's a lot of applications for it. You know, you're on a family vacation, something like that. You want to pick up great audio, or if you have a second person who is holding the camera and showing things, you'll have the ability to narrate from a distance. Also, the indicator light on the front touchscreen is excellent, so we can see if we're clipping audio or not and how it's picking up. So really, honestly, this is my absolute favorite feature of this camera so far.
The image quality on Action 5 Pro is fantastic, and as we look at a little more footage from Laguna Beach, keep in mind that DJI has taken an already feature-packed camera and added the ability to capture 10-bit color in normal or D-Log-M. Color accuracy was a deciding factor for me with previous iterations of the camera series, and this new one is no different. For those of you who might not spend a lot of time with these cameras, I can assure you that finding great true-to-life color in a scene such as this is not easy. The sky, the plants, the skin tones, they're all spot on. Since bright sunlight is of course the ideal situation, I wanted to also show you a little footage from a cloudy day at Thousand Steps Beach. All of this was shot in 4K 60 frames per second and slowed down to 50%. Action 5 Pro achieves 13.5 stops of dynamic range, which helps in challenging lighting environments during the day and also during the night. I've said it before and I'll say it again, action cameras suck in low light. I don't even mean the dark, I'm just saying anything that isn't bright sunshine, and I've got countless hours of crappy footage from any number of camera brands to prove it. Generally, after sunset, you'll see me reach for my phone. What you'll find with most action cameras is a dramatic loss of stabilization and very aggressive noise reduction, resulting in a soft and sometimes undesirable image. Now, DJI has a mode called Super Night Mode that aims to dramatically improve the quality at night, and what you're seeing on the screen right now is not that. This is just the Action 5 Pro on all automatic settings at 4K 60 frames per second, and I must say, it looks pretty good. At this point, it's well after sunset, but not completely dark yet. Okay, so we have big claims about how this camera performs at night, and right now, it is dark.
And you've already seen some footage that proves to you that action cameras generally are not good in low light. But if you're getting usable footage right now, then I am impressed. Right now you're in something called super night mode and you're in 4K 30. You can get 60 frames per second at 1080p, but we'll take some B-roll and see what it looks like.
Look, I don't want to overstate performance here. Yes, of course, there's a loss of stabilization, and yes, there's a lot of noise reduction. But if you put it all into the context of action cameras, I think DJI has a valid claim that the Action 5 Pro in super night mode delivers a very compelling experience. So I think it's time to answer the question, should you upgrade from the Action 4, and will this camera be my go-to camera at He Has the Camera on YouTube? The answer is a cautious yes. I say cautious because my next episode is going to be a head-to-head with the new GoPro Hero 13 Black, and I want to wait for the conclusion of that test to make a final decision. I want to thank all of you for watching and hope you'll all stick around for more in the coming weeks. If you'd like to reach me on social media, you can do that on Instagram at He Has the Camera, or reach out on almost all messaging platforms at that same handle. See you again real soon.
Well, that's what I do to, oh, Jesus. That's what I do to get to the shot. Okay.